Welcome back. Today is class 8 for our 8-week group program for those struggling with symptoms of trauma and PTSD. So we're wrapping things up today. We're going to incorporate a lot of the poses that you've already been introduced to during the previous weeks. And so without further ado, we can get started. So just coming down onto your mat, we're going to start coming onto our back. And keeping the knees bent, just reclining. And then widen the feet so that the knees can start to fall together, almost like you're tenting the knees. And as always, the first few moments is about just simply arriving. You can place your hands wherever it is comfortable for you. And begin to notice the way in which you are grounded. So maybe noticing the back of your head, your shoulder blades, the whole length of your spine. Glutes, the soles of your feet, just dropping your awareness down from your mind and just beginning to notice the body. If you haven't already, maybe just starting to notice your breath. If it feels good, you can start to lengthen the breath. Maybe notice the 3 parts, including belly, rib cage, and chest. Let's take 3 breaths here. If it feels good, nice big breath. Pausing at the top and breathe it all out. Soften the muscles of your face and maybe gently move your head a little from side to side. And let's go ahead and extend both legs long. We're going to come into reclined tree pose. So bringing the right sole of the foot up into your left inner thigh, just allowing the knee to fall open. Again, you can choose what happens with the arms. You might opt to just gently bring them up overhead, bending the elbows to open up through your chest. So gentle inner thigh stretch here. And if this feels really intense, that means that maybe it's too much. So you could always just add a little something under that right knee or leg to support yourself while you stay here and breathe. So using our mindfulness, just being aware, where is your mind? Your mind feels frazzled or scattered. It's okay. Try not to judge yourself, but try to bring your focus to one place, maybe You're noticing the tip of your nose as you breathe. Maybe you're focusing on the slight stretch feeling you're getting through the arms or inner thigh. Or maybe you're following that full breath, the 3 parts of belly, rib cage, and chest. Take 3 breaths. If your arms are up overhead, let's gently bring them down. And we'll start to come back just like we started, both legs bent. Just ground yourself. And we'll move into our reclined pigeon, also called figure 4. So you're going to take the right ankle on top of your left thigh and start to press that right knee open. So now we're opening the outside of your right hip. Feel free to stay just like this, or you can go ahead and draw the knees in toward your body, and you might interlace your fingers either on top of that left knee or maybe underneath on the thigh, on the hamstring. So now we're being with this nice stretch for that right hip. Remember, we're keeping a little flexion in your right foot, and that protects the knee joint. Trying to soften other places, including your face, shoulders, belly. Let your left foot just simply hang. And then we breathe. You might even just notice what it feels like to shift your weight nice and slow from side to side. And then from here, you'll drop your left foot back down, open through the arms, and then we're going to take an IT band stretch. So the legs stay the same. You're simply going to start to fall to the left here until that right foot comes to the floor. So the right knee actually stays high, and you're pressing it away. You could reach down with that left hand and grab a hold of your right ankle. So now nice big stretch through the right side body, that IT band that runs on the outside of the right leg. And you might feel a stretch in the hip as well. Noticing your breath. Last one in. Breathe it out. And on your next in-breath, we'll slowly start to rock your way back up. Unwind the legs. And just take a pause here. Just absorbing the stretch that we just did on that right side. And we'll go ahead and begin again with straightening the right leg and reclined tree. So this time the left foot drawing it in and up, opening up through your left leg, left knee. Gentle inner thigh stretch. Reminder that everything else can wait, and that during this practice, you are reserving and protecting time for yourself, creating a little bubble where you can just be and practice this act of self-care. And knowing it's your space, your bubble, your mat, your body. So moving in ways that serve you. And of course, all of the postures I offer are truly just that. They're offerings, they're suggestions. If something doesn't work for you, as always, please come out. Find a pose that does work for you. Couple breaths. And if your arms are above, please bring them down. And we'll bring the left knee back in, bending both legs, and finding our figure 4 second side. So left ankle crosses on top of the right thigh. We press the left knee away from the body, opening up through your left hip. And again, if you're feeling a decent amount in this variation, this is great. This is where you stay, where you breathe. If you'd like to go a bit further, you're welcome to draw the legs in. And again, we're using more leg strength than arm strength in this variation. The arms are just a little bit of the finishing touch, a little support. If you find that you have to curl your body in order to get in this variation, you've gone a little too far. So the whole length of your spine should be connected to the ground here. And again, it can feel quite nice to add a little rocking from side to side, just an option. Remember, you should be able to breathe easily and freely, no matter what position you take. And if you find that your breath is constricted or difficult, again, we just have to ease off a little bit. And that's not a loss, it's not good. We just have to accept that where are we today and honor that. And let's go ahead and release that and open up through the arms slightly. And we'll go ahead and you might bump your hips just a little to the left, and then keeping the legs the same, drop and roll to the right until that left foot hits the floor. So IT band stretch, and again, you might reach down with your right arm, grabbing a hold of that left foot. We're trying to keep the chest facing upwards, mainly a gentle twist through the lower body here. If you find that the sensation causes your body to start to tense up, just start to become aware of that. And the idea is that we can pause, observe, and then begin to resettle the body, softening around the sensation that you're probably feeling in that left hip and left IT band. 3 breaths. Biggest breath in. Exhale. All right, when you're ready, let's come on up, rocking up. And again, both feet hit the floor. Squaring the hips, you might draw both knees in. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze, maybe rocking a little side to side. We're going to make our way up to seated, so you can either rock and roll along the length of your spine or finding your own way up to seated. And we'll make our way through to tabletop. So find that foundation, gently rock your hips maybe from side to side or draw circles. Little bits of popping and cracking, that's very normal. Then tabletop neutral, we'll add a few cat-cows. Breathe in, lift your tail, lift your gaze. Exhale, begin to curl in, chin to chest, round your spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, curl. One more time, breathe in, drop that belly. Exhale, draw your chin in, belly button to spine, and then regular table. We'll take puppy pose from here. So legs stay the same. Just start to walk the arms out in front, lowering your forehead to the floor. And again, this is a big stretch for the shoulders. So if you find it's too much or your forehead is floating, go ahead and grab a prop. Maybe it's your block or even maybe a book at home, and just place the prop under the forehead. Alternatively, if you don't want to use a prop, you can always bend through the arms to ease the stretch. So finding your variation of puppy, looking to have that stretch through the shoulders, upper back, even under the armpits. Deep breaths here as you stay. You might use the mantra, just reminding yourself that it is just sensation. It's just sensation. I can choose to stay. It's just sensation. Continuing to breathe and continuing to observe as the posture maybe changes over time. Always know you can come out and take a different posture at any time. Let's take 5 breaths. And we'll slowly start to walk the hands back in, finding your tabletop. And we'll take child's pose. So bring the big toes together, sink your hips back, and then begin to walk the arms out in front. Again, the forehead comes down to the ground. Bending the arms as needed, or maybe you can add a little assist if you'd like by stacking one hand on the other and resting your forehead there. Slow, deep breaths. Soften through your jaw. Maybe even move the lower jaw from side to side. Last two. On your next inhale, we'll very slowly come up tabletop and making our way to downward facing dog. Take the hands forward just slightly, tuck the toes, and when you're ready, pressing the hips back. Drop the head, so press through all 10 fingers and begin to draw the eyes of the elbows together, pressing through index finger and thumb the most. Arms are like steel pipes here, super strong, super straight. Give the head a little shake, that feels good. And again, a little movement here. We call this pedaling out the dog, straightening one leg, bending the other. You can always come back to tabletop if the downward dog is too much. Breathe in deeply. Open your mouth, let that go. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to gently walk towards the front of your mat. And then halfway lift when you arrive. So draw your hands up your shins. Hold the belly button up. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. Gaze is at the floor. So a little bit of a hamstring stretch here as you press your thighs behind you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. And then forward fold. Maybe bend the knees a lot. Press down. Start to roll your way all the way up. Reach up tall. Hands come down to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. This time plant the hands, step back, finding your plank pose, or maybe dropping the knees into your table. Pausing here, big breath in. And then everybody is going to lower down to the belly. Uncurl your toes. Hands under their shoulders, little cobra. So just press to lift chin and chest. Make sure you keep the elbows in toward the body. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale. Inhale, this time press through tabletop, downward facing dog. Drop the head. When you're ready, look forward, start to walk to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Press down, reach up tall. Hands come to your hearts. Let's go through that again. Inhale, reach up. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, fold all the way down. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant the hands, step back, plank or table. Big breath. Lower down. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, cobra, we press up. Exhale through table, downward facing dog. Start to look forward. Gently walk your way to the front. Halfway lift, press the thighs back. Fold forward. Inhale, reach tall. Hands to your heart. Okay, so from here, you're going to start to ground down through your left foot. And when you're ready, right knee floats up. You can always just have tippy toes here. We're balancing on that left leg. Setting that dristi, that gaze point just ahead. Settling down through the shoulders. And then we'll move to warrior two. So gently step the left or the right leg all the way back. And lunging into the front leg. Arms float up. And the knee should be over that second toe. We're pressing out through the back side of the right foot. Energy shoot out through those fingers, settle down through your shoulders. Breathe here. Warrior two. And we'll go ahead and reverse the warrior. So flip the front palm, inhale, left arm up, right arm down. Big side body stretch. And then side angle, go ahead and take the left elbow on top of the front knee. Maybe we reach the right fingertips up, trying to roll that right shoulder back. Continuing to lunge into that front leg. Your left fingertips might even come to the floor here for full extension. Maybe you reach the front arm to the front of your mat. Big breath. And then release that. Both hands come to the floor. Find your plank or tabletop. Breathe. Lower down. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. This could also be table. Big breath in. Long breath out. Look forward and walk to the front. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Hands to heart. Let's try that out on the other side. So we'll start to ground down through the right foot. Set that dristi. Start to balance on the right leg. Knee to chest. Wobbling is totally normal. If you fall out, no worries. Try again. Get ready for warrior two. So with ease, we step the left foot back. We're looking for heel to arch alignment here. Open up through the arms. Check out that back hand. Make sure the left knee isn't caving in. Open it up. Strong in your warrior. Flip that front palm reverse. Big stretch. Side angle, right arm down. When you're ready, left fingertips to the sky. So pressing through both feet here, lunging still into your front leg. Maybe right hand comes all the way down. You could even reach the front arms, stretch. Big breath. And release, hands to the floor, step back. You take your vinyasa, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath. Start to walk forward, halfway lift. Breathe it out. Inhale, reach tall. Hands to heart. Come into tree pose, so I'll face you for this. So mountain at first, big toes touching, heels slightly apart. And from here, we'll go ahead and open up just like we did laying down first. Option just like this, balancing with the left leg. You could float the right foot up to the calf. You could reach down and see about bringing it into your thigh. So right foot pressing in, thigh pressing against the foot, grounding down through that standing leg. Maybe reach the arms up. And again, like a tree, you might sway a little bit. You might fall out. And again, let's not be heavy here. Just be light. Just come back in. Big breath. And float those fingertips down. Let that go. Let's try that on the other side. So variation 1 is to keep the toes touching here. Set that drishti, your gaze point. Variation here at the calf. Maybe reach the arms up. Trying to lift the gaze as well. Really expand, like big strong branches. Maybe reach down. Play around with the last variation here. Big breath. And let's let that go. Hands to heart. We're going to make our way back onto the floor. And from here, we're going to try out a toe stretch. So from tabletop, you're going to sink the hips back with the toes curled under. So stretching out the feet and the toes. We'll try out some eagle arms. So both arms come out in front, left arm sweeps under, bend through the elbows, and see if you can touch the right palm. If this is a no, you can simply grab shoulder to shoulder here. If you are in eagle arms, breathe deep, soften your face, and try to draw the elbows away and up. Maybe a gentle tuck of the chin. 3 breaths. It's just sensation. Let's release those arms, release the toes, give them a little tap on the floor, bump your hips from side to side. And we'll try that again. Tuck the toes, shift back. Another variation for toe squat is to come up, so there's not as much pressure on your toes. So either way, arms come out in front, right arm sweeps under, bend through the elbows, or again, shoulder to shoulder. Breathe. Big stretch through the shoulder blades, the scapulas, the upper back, and your neck. Beautiful. Let that go. Release the toes. Maybe hips from side to side. And we're going to make our way down onto our backs. And we'll come into reclined butterfly. So laying back down, soles of your feet touch, opening up through the knees here, the legs. Always know you can add something under the legs if it's too intense for the inner thighs. Placing the arms wherever it's most comfortable. Connecting back to your breath. Where is your mind? Check in. If it's thinking about the past or if it's thinking about the future, come back. Return to your mat, return to your breath. What is the loudest part of your experience right now? Let it be your breath, your presence in the here and now. Everything else can wait. Five breaths. Soften your third eye. And we'll slowly start to bring the legs back in. And we're coming into supported bridge. So at home, if you don't have a yoga block or a bolster, go ahead and just grab a pillow, because we'll be using that to lift up through your hips. So you would just, whatever prop you have at home, you would press down through your feet and simply slide it underneath the low part of your back. We call the sacrum. So a pillow could be used in this way. We just want to help the hips lift and be supported. This is an inversion because our heart is above the head. Let your weight be supported by whatever prop you're using. And we practice instant forgiveness when it comes to the mind. The mind will wander, that's guaranteed. We just have to become aware that the mind is in fact wandering, is thinking. And without judgment, without reacting, we just notice and shift our attention back to being present. Catch your next breath. Come back into your body, right here, right now. Let's take 3 deep breaths. And we'll get ready to release that. Press down through your feet, lift your hips, and remove your pillow, your block, lowering yourself back to the ground. You might like to just draw the knees in, a little rock, massaging the low back. And we'll take a supine twist, opening up through the arms. Let's take the hips to the right and just let the knees gently fall to the left. We want to keep the right shoulder as grounded as possible, chest still facing the sky. A twist is healthy to practice for the low back and also helps to restore new oxygen and detoxify the organs as well. On your next inhale, we'll gently bring the knees up, centering your body. Pause. And ready to try that on the other side. Hips move a little to the left, just so the knees can gently fall to the right. You might even take your right hand and place it on top of your left thigh for a little self-assist. Breathing down into the low belly. Last couple breaths. Big breath starts to lift the knees up, centering your hips. Go ahead, if it feels good, draw your knees in once again. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then we'll get ready to take Shavasana, our final resting pose. So at home, if you have a blanket or if you have any pillows you want to use, please feel free, maybe something under the knees. Finding whatever position feels most comfortable to let the body start to integrate our practice and rest. Laying here, again, just allow the breath to come back to its normal and natural pace. Laying here in stillness for a few moments. And gently start to notice your breath. Maybe adding some gentle movements through toes, fingers, wrists, and ankles as we slowly and gently reawaken the body. You can bend through your legs, just like we started, maybe tent the knees, adding a little stretch through the upper body. Rolling onto one side. Just taking a little pause here. And thinking of one thing you can feel somewhat thankful for today. And if that's something, as a person or a being, just sending them that love and gratitude from your heart to theirs. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up. Taking any seated posture that feels good in your body. Hands can come to heart, sitting with a nice tall spine, gentle tuck of the chin. And if you'd like, you can help me close our practice with chanting Om one time. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Deeper breath in. And and namaste. Okay, so that concludes our 8 weeks of yoga for those that struggle with symptoms of trauma and PTSD. I hope that you found that these classes were helpful. They'll be available on YouTube, and I hope that you take care and come back to your mat and practice consistently again and again, starting to revisit the body in this new way. I thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again next time.